It's Garrett again. I'm making just a short video to tell you that you can do some really cool stuff.
Okay. Hi. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night. Whatever time you're watching this. I might be talking to nobody. That's fine. I'm here with my wonderful friend, Madeline Jones. And we're just kind of hanging out, and we got some things we want to talk about today. Kind of four kind of interesting topics, but we'll get to them as we go. But just wanted to kind of get things rolling, and I first wanted to ask Madeline, what are some of the things you're thinking about? What are some of the things that Madeline is thinking about?
I'm thinking about how I got here. Like,
What do you mean?
how did I get into this situation? I definitely, like, you talked about, like, starting your podcast, and, you know, me and Mia were both like, okay, well, we'll support you, and we want to hear everything. And then, like you started posting them, and I was just like, you need a guest. You need a really cool, awesome guest. And I tried to think of anyone, and I thought of myself first. So here I am.
And honestly, you were the easiest guest to get. So
No, he's paying me by the hour. So.
Yeah, she's getting minimum wage, so it's fine.
For now.
For now,
It's
until it
going up.
changes in January.
It's going up.
It's actually going to be nice. I work a minimum wage job, and the government pays me though for what I do. So it's not coming out of my employer's pocket, but I'm going to get a nice $15 an hour here soon. Which will be nice.
Yeah.
But
I'm licensed, so I get a little more than that.
I'm also licensed in another job I have, which also gets more than that. But I have two jobs, so.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. I was like, you need someone educated and smart. And then I was like, wait a minute. Maybe you don't need someone educated and smart. Maybe you just need me. I definitely wanted to come on here. And if he was like, well, I just like want to talk to someone. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to represent not the educated youth, but the uneducated youth, which is me. Yes. Garrett is a little above average. So I thought you should sit down and do what the main goal of your podcast is, which is to educate people on policies and
inform and make stuff up. So
yeah,
I do a lot of that.
So I thought, why don't you educate me for as long as we're here?
Yeah. Interesting you say that. Yeah, so over time, putting the show together, it's like gone from, it's just going to be like off the cuff, random, whatever, to not, to like one, at least fully scripted video. And then more of the educated videos, it's like, if it's a current event, it's like way harder for me to like, get completely versed in the subject matter. Unless it's something I already know. And so like I use a script for that. So today we're just sitting and talking, and then have a couple of topics we want to talk about. But yeah, it's been like narrowing down the scope of the show has been the main process. Like, what am I doing? Am I informing people? Am I calling people to action? Am I kind of giving an op-ed? It's kind of all of those things. Format will change probably over time. I think guests is going to work for me way more. I think I do way better when I talk with people rather than at people. So there's like two guests in the pipeline after you, that are
Probably be better.
No. They're just going to be, they're different people, and it'll be interesting. And it might jumpstart the show to like kind of reach other people.
Yeah. My first debut on his podcast, and I sound like I have the plague. So, which I did catch the plague that's going around Lynchburg. Every single person got it.
Oh.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got it, it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid getting sick too, but all that said, again, in terms of politics, what are you thinking about right now? What are the things that you, as a young woman in the 21st century, in the big 25, pursuing a nursing degree, and
Yes.
what do you...
I definitely think, and everyone can say this, that our generation, I'm just going to focus on our generation because that's the generation I'm obviously attuned to, is way more political than we were like 2 years ago or even like 6 months ago. Like with what happened with Charlie Kirk, definitely like turned the tides of how the youth should view like, wow, we have actually more power than we thought we did. And our opinions can be heard. And a lot of, me personally, I pushed off politics. Like, my parents, when I turned 18, they were like, who are you voting for? I was like, I don't know, whoever you're voting for. But it was just like, I didn't want to think about it because obviously it's a scary topic. It's like, there's people out there that, like, have power and, like, there's a president. And then, this is coming from an uneducated person. This is, like, my view before
Maybe not
I
uneducated,
realized.
but just like the
Well,
average.
I'm
person.
smart. I'm not educated. Well, I'm educated. I'm not smart. Actually, that's a different analogy. We'll go over later. The difference between being smart and educated. But I'm just like, wait, like I want to know more. Like, this is interesting. Like, these are people who, like, you think it's something like, oh, you have to get a degree in,
Mm-hmm.
and then you work your way up for years.
Yeah.
But there's people who popped out of nowhere who were given a lot of power that didn't even go to college.
Yeah. That, or they just, like, gathered a big audience very quickly. Again, it's like
Right.
that, and then now it's kind of like, because, like, media has been decentralized and stuff, it's like, you don't have to be, I say this a lot now, you don't have to be Gordon Ramsay to know you like the food, or you don't like the food.
Yeah.
So the idea of, like, oh, like, who are the experts? Who are the experts? Like, who are the people on TV you're listening to, and the, you know, super published researchers and authors? It's just like this kind of hollow, kind of straw man of like, well, who are you listening to? It's like, well, I don't know. You want to listen to a lot of people. You want to include the, you know, experts,
Yeah.
but it's not like every expert is right. We have seen that before. We saw a lot of that during COVID and years prior.
Yeah.
And I think because old school media has kind of just been like shoved aside, and it's kind of like, you have podcasting, you have like quick shows, you have social media. Like, yeah, social media has like been really bad for our generation, but it's also probably done some of the most good, I think, as well. Just accessibility of information.
I mean, it's a way to get in touch with everyone in the entire world quickly. Influence them.
Isn't it weird? Like, we went from like not, like, you had to send a letter or you had email, which was kind of instantaneous and stuff, but like literally, like, you can just, like, from anywhere, any place, you don't need to be plugged into a wall, you don't need to pass on mail, you can just, like, instantaneously just, like, share, hey, this thing happened, like, instantly.
Yeah. And that's really, like, that could be used as a really good thing, or it can be used as a really bad thing.
Yeah.
But
It's also, I think, harder to, like, share propaganda, too. I think it's harder for countries and governments and institutions to, like, disseminate, like, misinformation and stuff because, like, there's so much true information out there. Obviously, like, with the internet and AI having a giant presence now, it's probably going to be harder.
it's like, is that real or is that AI? It's like, AI, crazy jump in the past 2 years. I cannot believe how realistic it became. It went from, like, typing essays for you to, like, you put your face and voice and there you are on the Eiffel Tower. And it's pretty believable.
Yeah, this whole podcast is AI. You guys don't know it yet, but...
I was too sick to come in, so I just recorded my voice and sent it to you.
Yeah. And what's funny is, like, you guys wouldn't really know if we were telling the truth or not. It could just be really good.
I think it's a talent of mine. I can tell if a video is AI or not.
There is like...
There's a giveaway. It's like the echo. You're like, wait, that's too echoey. It's like, it's too mic'd up.
There's like a weird, like, uncanny valley that a lot of it has. And like, to the untrained eye, and this is honestly like why it's like detrimental for like elderly people, is like, if you haven't seen stuff like that before, or you haven't like watched it progress, you have no idea.
Like the videos where like I'm showing this to my grandma.
Right. Well, like my aunt was sharing an AI video of some old lady and was like, I would love to meet her. This is the kind of person I like. I was like,
she's not real.
She's not real.
So who's gonna tell her she's not real?
So, and she didn't believe me, which was funny, initially at least, but she does now. So.
Yeah. And that's hard. That's hard. And it's crazy because I'm just like, I'm probably gonna be like that one day. Like, there's gonna be a day where I'm not knee deep into social media and I start taking a step back. Like, I deleted Instagram for 6 months, and all of a sudden there's Meta, like AI on the Instagram, and then there's like, oh, you can make this now, and I'm like, well, what's that? Show me. I don't know how to do that. What button is that? It's like, it's been 6 months, and I'm like, what is that? Show me. And then it's just like, I'm just like, okay, well, at some point in my life, I'm not going to want to post on Instagram anymore. And I think it's going to be earlier than later. I think probably right when I get settled down, I'm going to be like, nah, I don't want to post my kids.
Yeah.
I don't want to post my husband.
I mean, yeah, people are already doing that. I'm already doing that. I'm already, kind of hiding my family and people close to me as much as I can.
Yeah.
But I don't care about Madeline. You're going right on the internet to millions of people.
I don't have anything to lose, unfortunately.
Well.
So, but yeah.
Just your degree.
Just no, I don't.
Be careful what you say. She thinks it's the Jews too.
Wow. Oh my gosh, so the weather like we're having.
Yeah, it's really cold. It's been really cold.
Okay,
recently.
Lynchburg, Virginia was 70 degrees last week. Woke up yesterday, my merry morning, 26 degrees all day. Well, 30-ish at the end.
Yeah.
But I was like, and I'm from Florida. We don't get that. No. And that's why I'm sick every single day. I thought it was the elevation, probably the weather, most likely the weather. To different people. I mean, I live in a college town.
Yeah.
We're bound to be sick.
Yeah.
Someone goes home, they bring back their own form of plague, and then just spread it around. And ugh.
Yeah.
Disgusting. But social media, it's easy to pin social media as the bad guy. It is. But there's few times where it's like the good guy. I mean, it's a huge ministry field, social media. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one of the greatest opportunities for ministry. There is. But yeah, and the thing with like social media too is like it's polarized our culture even more. So like if you didn't know what left and right was, or like what conservative and liberal was, you definitely know what it is now, because it's almost like
exactly
like the general side of conservatism is like more like it's further right than it was before, when conservative was like let's say like the conservative general population like 10 years ago is like way less conservative than it is today. Right. And like because of that you have the people on even the further right where they've been pushed out even further.
Right.
Same thing with the left. The left is like fundamentally there's something completely AWOL there. It's almost like this weird humanist, utopian fantasy of ideas has like taken place, and I think a lot of people are realizing it doesn't work as a society.
I mean, like the reason why, is it policies, political? What is it? Like the reason why people our age are diving into like the political world right now. I don't want to say the reason. I don't want to be definitive, But it's like one of the biggest reasons is social media has made like the Republican / Democratic parties a trend. And it's like, I have to be a part of this trend. And it's like, some people are going to choose it for the right option, saying, oh, I want to choose, like, I want to vote because I want to make a difference, because I want my rights, or not my rights, but I want my views, and this party views my views the best, so I'm going to vote for them. And then there's people who are like, oh my gosh, everyone's like a Democrat and everyone's a Republican. Like, I need to figure out which one I like the most, and I need to make sure everyone knows that I'm choosing this party. Mm-hmm. And and make it loud because everyone else is doing it.
Right.
So it's like, again, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, but at least people are getting a little bit, like a little taste of like the real world we're in.
And I think it even highlights even more the general idea that like the left and the right, like they're two designated sides, they're two designated parties, they're two designated tribes, they have two designated ideologues, like conservatism on the right and liberalism on the left. And if you partake in any of those ideologies, you know, if you somewhat agree with liberal ideologies, you're going to probably vote Democrat because Democrats support those ideas.
Right.
At least in their policy. Same thing with the right.
And you want your friends to know.
You're right.
Like, hey, I voted. I support you. Like me.
Yeah.
Now.
It's a club. That's what it's always been. That's what, you know, transgenderism has become. You know, again, like liberalism. A lot of the whole like anti-immigration lobby is just like, it's a club, you know. It's a club based on, you know, God Sod, an author, coined this term. It's like it's like suicidal empathy, essentially. It's like this, you know, it's this strive for fairness out of empathy.
I think people also join Christianity because it's a club. They're like, wait, all these people are posting about God, let me post about God too. Yeah.
Yeah, and like we see that with like private Christian universities. I mean, like all over the place. It's not even just that. It's like, the rise in like Christian presence on even social media has honestly probably promoted more lukewarm ideas. Mm-hmm. And you've got guys who are like, look at all the scripture I highlighted in my Bible this morning. Anyway, I'll see you at the club tonight. I'll be there at 8:30. You know, doors open at 7. Drinks on me. And it's just like, okay. And like, you know, he was caught last week with like another girl, you know, and his girlfriend just left him, and it's just like, oh, what's happening?
And it's like join now or be alone. It's like you need to join one of these clubs now. But it's like the problem is you have to not do something because other people are doing it, because you have to do it because you want to do it. And like engorge yourself in it, educate yourself in it. Like bathe yourself in what you think is right, in your truth, and make it heard. Yeah. You know, like be the black sheep.
Yeah. I think, like one thing I've been thinking about too is like maybe today, and I see this in just a lot of people I know, like tons of people I've met are like, because they're so, and I think we're seeing this kind of a surge in like out of nowhere, like a lot of like nonpartisan people. I kind of was like that for a while. I'm even more that way today. And I'm like noticing there are people that I know that I always thought they were either Democrat or Republican or liberal or conservative, and they're more middle of the road. Yeah. And because they made the realization by spending time thinking about these things that like, oh, like these ideas, these values that are associated with left and right actually share no real essence with it. You know what I mean? And it's just like a club. It's like, you know who you support, but not what you support.
Yeah, and I think if you are standing on an opinion and you won't let it change, that's not the right way to view something. The opinion should always change. Yeah. Like, and views should be, like, not twisted, switched up, or added, like, more like added to. It's like, okay, I'm taking your opinion and I'm adding it to mine, but I'm not gonna just hear something and fully jump into it. Yeah. Like, be very careful with, like, what you're jumping into and, like, what's behind it. Because there's always, like, skeletons in the closet, and then your name is pinned to that. And, like, what you claim that you believed in.
Yeah. And it's like, I would even take it a step further where it's like, not even that like you need to like not hold to your opinions. It's that you need to be okay with like dialogue and discussion, and you need to be okay with a little bit of offense against what you're thinking. And it's something that goes a little even deeper than that, because I think there are like, like the left right now is this party of like open-mindedness, and you know they want to welcome you, but it's we're so welcoming and open-minded to the things we support, which is ironic. It's like we're open-minded to the things that we already support. And so we saw a lot of migration from the left to the right, and even vice versa, because I think right now there's like a giant fracture on the right side. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of a whole other different topic. I don't know if you want to go that way, but
how much time you got?
well, okay. I think we can kind of like, because I did like a whole episode on this, but a lot of people right now think that the right is like super split up and having a civil war because like Tucker Carlson, you know, had Nick Fuentes on, and like Charlie Kirk had Tucker Carlson on before he died, and they think it's people think that's the reason there's a civil war and why people are infighting, and like why, you know, MTG and like Thomas Massey are like, you know, shifting to more nonpartisan, more middle of the road policy. And it's like, no. The fracture happened when Donald Trump didn't hold up the promises he ran on. It's when he pretended that the Epstein files didn't exist. It's when he said that he was going to curb the H-1B, you know, visa process, and now he's wanting more people. It fractured when he originally was saying we have talented people in America that needs jobs back in November. It fractured when he went back on that and said we have no talent. That happened this week. That's when it fractured. And so when it did that, people on the right started going like, hey, like we were the party that like supported him, and like I can't support him anymore. Like I can't vote yes on these bills because it's fatty and it's not doing what we supported him to do. And so then you have voices like Tucker Carlson or Nick Fuentes or Dave Smith where they represent like, and Thomas Massey, they represent like all these different sides of an America first and America only perspective. And like, you know, Dave Smith and Massey are kind of on the more like, not that Massey is a libertarian, but it's like they're on the more libertarian, anti-war, anti-debt side of things. Fuentes is like the anti-immigration, anti-war side of things with, you know, maybe more specific prejudice, but a lot of his ideas are stemming from real issues. Like his thoughts on immigration are like, people want to say they're racist when he talks about it, and he's like, but it's not, that's not true. Like these groups of people that are getting shoved into America do statistically vote more Democrat. Like, and it's not that like Democrat or like Democratic policies are like the right policies, and that's why people are coming here to vote for them, because we've seen the fruit of these policies. I don't know. Yeah.
No,
that's my little rant.
This is important. This is like adding on to like, should people know these things before they claim them? But then you can just say, we're all human, we make mistakes. No one's perfect. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. It's just silly. It's so silly to me that like, even like conservatives are just like so unafraid of like challenging like their own party. And it's like, well, now isn't that funny? Like you've discovered exactly what went wrong with the left, you know? And so kind of back to that, it's like, yeah.
I like this like I try to be non-biased. Obviously I have a side and I have a party I agree with most because of my faith, but it's a lot of like to challenge one inside your party is like really important to growth. How are we going to grow if we don't challenge people? Mm-hmm. Question. How are we going to grow if we don't challenge people? Okay. Friendship should be challenging. policy should be challenging.
Right. Yeah.
It forces us to think. No one wants to think anymore. They
Yeah.
just want to be served something and like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what's going wrong. That's like, and what's funny is like either side is guilty of that. You know, it's
Exactly.
like a lot of people like voted for Trump to do X, Y, and Z, and they're basically just like they're gonna keep like, listen, I voted for Trump too, but I am in no means in agreement with like anything that's happening right now. Like they've done okay with immigration. Do I think they need to go a little bit harder? Yeah. Do I think they need to maybe not be as, provocative in their efforts with how ICE has handled certain things? No, I think there's better ways of doing things. Like, for example, the H-1B program. Curb that. Like, chop that junk in half. Get rid of it if you have to. It's not helping Americans get jobs. It's insane for you to think that, we don't have talent in America, so we need to import it. It's like, great. So when you do that, you're going to import, cultures that have values that are ingrained into their society, and you're going to bring it here. And it's going to affect policy, and it's going to affect voting. So, like, Ron DeSantis said a little bit ago in a great tweet, he was just like, because we had the Minnesota mayoral election. I'm forgetting how all that went.
Isn't that Florida's governor, DeSantis?
Yes. And we had a Somali guy, running, and it's not that he he had bad policy. It was just more of like that, like, and DeSantis points out, it's like why should his old tribe affiliation back in Somalia have any relation to American policies? Like there's a tribe in Minnesota that's like, yeah, we're not gonna vote for him because he affiliates with this tribe. Like back in Somalia. Like what how does that have anything to do with American politics? But guess what? We're importing it and we're bringing it here.
It's a toss of the ring. It's like you have to pick everyone's gonna do things you don't like, and you have to pick someone who you dislike the least. It's like no one's gonna do things that you like.
Yeah.
100% that guy. Like I can't say 100% Trump does everything I like. Everything he does is right. Thank God I voted for him. It's like, no, I voted for Trump because he believed and also promised things that I agreed with. Of course he did things I didn't agree with. A lot of things. But it's like that over ... Because I'm not going to get into that. I voted for that. And I think, it's a hard pill to swallow. It's like, ugh, I can't believe these are my options. But it's like, these are the only options you're going to get.
Yeah.
No one else has the cojones to come up and do more. I promise those people are probably going to mess up too. But it's like, you can't say, I wish someone perfect would come along, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So you just got to swallow the pill.
But luckily, unlike an everyday person, who we elect represents what we want.
Yeah.
It never has to be, this is what needs to change, is you're right. Our expectation is that they will be perfect, but we're missing something here. Mm-hmm. It is on us to make sure they fulfill that expectation. Right. It is on us as the democracy to pressure them into doing what they want, what we want them to do. And right. It's like the alternative to Trump, yeah, we'd probably be way worse off. It's not like that,
Way worse off in what you wanted.
Right. Well, it's not even like that what you wanted, it's just objectively. They were Kamala was or Kamala, whatever. It's been so long since I've thought of her, but she was running on the idea that everything was fine. Everything's fine. The border's open. It's fine. I'm the border czar. And then she, pretends to deny that she wasn't called that. But I'm the border czar. Everything's fine. Open borders is fine. We want them all in here. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And it's not like that Kamala or Biden were super ultra far left, because they weren't. But they definitely weren't moderate. And so what we would have been given would have been probably far worse. But again, it's groceries still expensive. Gas is, jobs suck. We have like since the class of like 2020, what is it, 2024 or 2023, like 60% of them like don't have the jobs that they got a degree in. Like that's insane.
Wow.
Unemployment, right? They're trying to hide unemployment numbers from May, right? And Trump fires the lady that's in charge of the numbers. Like they're fudging the numbers. The numbers were like still low even after they tried to correct them. In fact, they were lower than what the past lady tried to establish as like actual unemployment rates. So it's like, you know, think about the car market, the housing market, and then their solution to, you know, affordability, right, is just like, it's like shopping for a car payment. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to pay X amount per month. I don't care how long it takes me to pay off the car. So they introduce, you know, 50-year mortgages. It's like, oh, great. So instead of doing what we hired you to do, like we, the American people, employ you, and instead of doing what we hired you to do, you're going to go and you're just going to, and I mean by what we mean, like what I mean by like what we wanted you to do is you were going to actually create like solutions, like you're going to take the problem we already have and fix it, not put a Band-Aid on it and make another problem, right? And that's what they're doing with the housing market. It's like, rather than fixing housing prices, and I don't mean fixing as in like keeping it in one place, I just mean like there's a billion ways you could have probably fixed the problem. And their idea is you're going to be paying off your house till you're 95. You know what I mean? Like that's insane.
What's the average homeowner's age?
Average homeowner age in 2025 is 50 years old.
Perfect.
So if you were wondering this Halloween why you didn't see any kids out in your neighborhood, or which, here's the thing is if you have kids today, you're probably in either a smaller house or you're in a area, or a townhouse or an apartment, or you're in an area where housing prices haven't been that affected. Or you've moved to an area so you can get a house, which a lot of people have done. That, or you're the fortunate, you know, minority that has the means. If you're upper, lower, or lower middle class, there are some people in that zone where you guys have just figured out how to get homes. And, you know, so, I don't know. It's just like, we would expect, like, you need to not put a Band-Aid on it. You're supposed to provide a solution.
Right.
You haven't done that. So now, that's why people on the right are really unhappy. Not even on the right, but just people in general, right? So that's why Democrats won last week on Tuesday's last election. Like, that's why Democrats won. Democrats won literally because they ran for something for the first time since Obama. Obama did his whole hope and change thing.
Right.
Like, for the first time ever, Spanberger and Mamdani were like, hey, we're going to fix affordability. Don't worry about how, but we're going to do that. And because people aren't smart enough to go and like, I'm not calling anybody stupid, but the average population doesn't go and like see how socialist policy works and like where it gets its funding. Not a lot of people go and do that. I do that. I don't know about you. But you know what I mean? Like people assume like it's the same thing with Trump. Like we were like, oh, we're voting for him to do X, Y, and Z. Maybe we didn't really think about how he was going to do that. Same thing with Mamdani. They were just like, oh, affordability, sure. Free bus, sure. You know, we're sitting here on, you know, November 12th today, and Mamdani is getting these policies denied. Like, New York's going down the drain. And Spanberger was, you know, again, ran for something, for affordability, for whatever. Right. That's why they won, because Republicans aren't doing their job. They aren't doing what we voted them in office. They have the majority of everything right now, and they're not doing anything. And you can try and argue, like, oh, but they're getting blocked by the Democrats and stuff. No. They're up in arms over whether or not they should send another $12 billion to Israel. They don't care whether or not you can't afford your house payment or not, or your car payment. Yeah. That's not on their minds. They're just trying to block the Epstein files from coming out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's like, it's more important here. But, like, you vote someone into power just to help you. And, like, it's like, we the people. And then they get power hungry. And it's hard to get back into that mentality of, wait a minute, I promised things. Wait a minute, I have to do these things that I promised. But, like what are some things that, like, Trump has promised that he's fulfilled? Garrett.
That he has fulfilled? I mean, He's doing an okay job with the border.
Okay.
Some of the tariffs have worked. I mean, some. What else? He's pardoned some people that needed to get pardoned.
Do you think he's focusing on anything that, like,
right now,
he thinks is more important than what we're struggling with?
That's the thing, is like right now, I don't know what even is, not just his, but just his entire administration's focus. Like, what even is their focus? Like, are they just going to keep saying we're working on this thing? Like, this is our goal, and it's just going to continue to be not fulfilled? Because that's what it feels like. You know what I mean? It's like you could say their priority the last couple of weeks was like the shutdown and like, you know, the big beautiful bill and trying to like figure out some affordability, right? Yeah. And so they're like, hey guys, we figured it out. We're like, great, you're doing what we voted you to do. And they're like, yeah, we're going to fix affordability. So it's going to be a 50-year mortgage. You're going to be paying off your house till you die. And it's like, what? You know, who in their right mind was like, yeah, that's a worthy solution. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that think that's a good enough solution.
Yeah. But, and then that's why we're, like, when I say we, I mean the uneducated youth. That's why we're asking questions. That's why we're like, wait a minute. This isn't making sense. And usually it's, like, I don't want to say older adults because that sounds, like, stupid. But it's, like, usually people who have been active voters longer, adults, realize these things. But now it's, like, I have, like, there's, like, my 16-year-old, 17-year-old friends who are like, wait, what's going on? And it's like, wow, it's reaching the youth. This is really good. Like, because everyone says the youth is our future. And it's like, okay. And, like, that's why I think it's really important to start educating yourself on, like, what you're going to stand on and what you're not going to stand on.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I know you had some questions. We kind of answered the first one.
Yeah.
Which was,
yes. Yeah.
What is, you know, what's like the general difference between a modern liberal and a modern conservative? We kind of just talked about that for 30 minutes. So I think that's covered.
I think that's covered.
So I sent you some of them. So
my phone here.
Yeah. So
my handy dandy phone.
These are some questions that I asked some of people that listen, some of the people that follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I just basically was like, what do you guys want to hear about? And so... What
do you want answered?
Yeah, it was just like what are your thoughts on this, and that? So, you know, I kind of not modernized them, I kind of rephrased them a little bit to fit the format better, but...
All right, so... I'm gonna go to some of your Instagram.
Well, they're on
ones.
They're in the list I sent you.
Oh.
Yeah, I just.
They are.
Yeah, they're in there.
All right, so we answered like the difference between modern liberal and modern conservative, but there's like some questions on like, okay, if God establishes all authority, how should we as Christians participate in politics, and even if, like, should we participate in politics?
Yeah.
And it's like, I view that, I see that question and I'm like, that's a really good take. But also, as Christians, shouldn't we always be involved in these things? Mm-hmm. And kind of like point people where they need to look? Yeah.
I think, so it kind of brings up a great kind of dichotomy where it's like, okay, God establishes the authority, right? And that's kind of just like, open it up there. So that is, if you're a believer, if you're a Christian, that should be your political party. That should be your political affiliation, should be God and his authority and what he says in the Bible and his ethics, his morals, his values. And then even at that, if you want to look at how should we participate in politics, well, then take a step further. Who is his politician? Who is his messenger? I mean, who was his, you know, like who it was Jesus, you know what I mean? And it was the apostles as well. Think about Paul. Paul was the first politician other than Jesus in my mind, you know what I mean? He was going city to city, country to country and being like, hey, here are not my beliefs, but like, you know, here are our beliefs, here's what God says, here's the truth, here's the word, here's the gospel. He also went and told societies what they were doing wrong. I mean, so for people to kind of look at that and be like, yeah, Christians should not partake in politics is kind of almost suicidal to me. Like, you're not fulfilling the gospel because you obviously didn't read how the gospel was shared. And so even that it's like, you kind of got get a little deeper into that. And it's like, okay, what do you like, how do you implement the gospel in like solving crimes, right? I had a great conversation with one of my friends about this. These are some thoughts kind of from
I want to hear this.
Jamie Winship. Jamie Winship is a great guy. He's an ex-cop and he's done a lot of crime solving. And so he has kind of a methodology that he used so frequently and in a way that was so successful that the CIA ended up reaching out to him and being like, how do you do this? But his idea is that you can get like criminals to like confess to their crimes if you can figure out a way to like show them like this doesn't have to be your identity, like God says who you are. And so one of the great examples is Jamie Winship received a call a long time ago. I can't remember if this was the 80s or 90s. He received a call from somebody interrogating a criminal. They arrested him, this criminal. He had committed some crimes, but they arrested him unconstitutionally. So they basically had 24 hours to get a confession or he had to leave. And, this interrogator basically called Jamie Winship and he's like, hey, like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? Like, this guy, like, I gotta get a confession out of him. And in 24 hours, like, how's this gonna work? And he basically told him, like, how would Jesus, like, what would Jesus do in that room? You know what I mean? Like, what would Jesus want you to do in that room? Like, what is the most, like you're not a cop, you're not an interrogator, you're just, like, trying to channel the character of Jesus in that room. And he got off the phone with Jamie, and he looks at the criminal, and he's like, my dad, he beat me as a kid, and he beat me as a kid, and I went one night when he was kind of on a rampage. I went one night and I hid underneath the sink in the bathroom. And when I went underneath the sink that night, there was a Bible underneath the sink. And he's talking to this criminal, and he says, the reason why I probably didn't commit the crimes that you did is because God was with me that night. And I saw that Bible. Mm-hmm. And it saved me. And the criminal responds with, my father used to beat me. And basically confessed to like that being a large part of his attitude. And it led to a conversation about their identity and that like, and the interrogator's telling this criminal like, if you go to prison, like there's going to be like a discipleship program for you and you're going to be able to like pursue your real identity in Christ through that. And obviously there's more details to this, but the criminal basically feeling like sin and that he doesn't have to continue living this life anymore, went on to confess to every single crime he's ever committed. Wow. And he went to jail looking at that interrogator as the greatest man he's ever met in his entire life. Wow.
Where'd you hear this story?
It's from Jamie Winship.
Oh.
It's the cop, yeah.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
Which Jamie Winship, I want you on the show, man.
Shout out.
Shout
Jamie.
out. I would love to have you on here.
Jamie.
I like a lot of your stuff. I hear you're pretty okay with coming on podcasts, so I'll try reaching out to you. But yeah, where was I even going with that? Okay, yeah. So it's like it's an example. It's not going to be success. It doesn't mean it's successful
Christians
every single time. And it's just like it's like that's how the Bible and God's word and the gospel. Like it's not. We tend to put it in such a like box where it's like strictly like ministry is like you're either going to church. It's like we look at like being a Christian strictly between two things, and it's like attendance and lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's not just those two things.
No.
It's also how you're living out the gospel, and you can do it every day in different ways. It doesn't have to be street preaching. That's one of the best ways to get the word out. But some of the work, some of the greatest work is going to be done without a spotlight. And it's going to be done
in the dark.
In the dark, yeah, in the dark. It's going to be done in the dark. And it's going to be maybe even done by people who don't have a Bible with them, don't have scripture memorized, and yet they're still able to convey the gospel, right, in a way that's going to change minds. And that's like one of the most beautiful things, really. And so, as Christians, like, again, back to the original question, it's like, what do we, like, I'm going to answer this, like, we should participate in politics. And really anything to do with our government we need to participate in. We need more believers in politics. We need more believers in the government, actually. 100%. And any sort of absence of that is like, you are falling short of the call, in my opinion. And you're not really pursuing it to its fullest. And what that's going to look like is, like, how you share the gospel. It's going to show up in different departments, but we should share it. We should represent Christ in politics.
Just a thought that I had this morning about, like, how the political world has changed in a way of, like, youth, like, wanting to be more educated on it. I was thinking, obviously, the biggest influence so far, like, right now, is Charlie Kirk. And, like, it was, yes, Charlie Kirk, but his death very much showed, like, Christianity. And I know this is, like, a reach, but I think a lot of people, like, turn to God because of how Charlie Kirk's faith was.
Yeah.
And, like, I think that's a really big seed of, like, what happened was terrible. But one, he's in a better place, and two, he's a martyr now. So it's a beautiful thing, and it's painful, but, like, God makes those terrible things beautiful. Which leads me to the next question, which someone asked about Erica Kirk's mourning.
So we get to kind of look at the camera and put our tinfoil hats on a little bit.
I don't have a tinfoil hat yet, but I'll put one on. Mostly because of this subject. I think Charlie Kirk's death is really, really interesting, and, like, I've been, like, Candace Owens, and, like, I've been like what's going on? Like, what are these different, like, thoughts and crazy things? So
I think first, we got to talk about just how still suspicious and bizarre.
It's been 2 months.
It's been 2 months since he's died, and it's, like, still no details.
Yeah.
They're still running with the Tyler Robinson story that he was shot from the front, and he just had, this, the Superman, like, jugular where it just stopped the bullet. It didn't come out the other end.
Yeah.
And there's just so much blood, whatever, with hidden artery. And they ran with that. And it was just a lone shooter. Well, now we know that's just not true. We have plenty of camera angles now.
A lot.
We know for sure that he was shot from behind, and that was an exit wound.
One of the positives of social media.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's kind of like...
Thank you.
It's kind of like 9/11 all over again. This is where it's like... 9/11 happened, like, like, prior to social media's, like, giant rise, but, like, there was cameras and mobile cameras, and there were phones, and so it was really easy for people to take videos. Yeah. Well, this is, like, a crowd of, several thousand people, like, all of them recording. So there's tons of video. Yeah. And it's, the FBI has gone out to people with certain angles and said, hey, you're not allowed to post that, which is insane. But we know for sure that he was shot from behind. It's an exit wound. I have friends that work in forensics that said as soon as they saw the videos, they thought it was an exit wound. I have some friends that work in surgical units that think it was an exit wound. I think it was an exit wound. And it's just, like, especially with different angles.
Wait, like, exit wound meaning, like...
Meaning the bullet entered from behind and exited here, where we all thought he was shot. Yeah. Which it makes sense, because the idea that he had, like this is a 30-aught gun. Like, this is a big bullet. It's a big bullet. The idea that, like, his body, like, stopped the bullet, and that's why there's no, like, exit.
No.
And, like, but the blood, like, is coming out this way. That's not how bullets work. I have friends in national security who talked about, who have done, again, like, tons of forensics work, And
Yeah.
they were like, that's not how bullet works.
It's also not how the body works.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, like 90% water, 80, 70.
Yeah, it's just, well, it's like, it doesn't make any sense that the bullet would like enter this way, but like it would explode this way, and then the bullet would stop from like a heavy power gun.
Right.
Same deal with, anyway, but like, that being said, we have other camera angles now that it's like, oh, okay, that bullet came down at an angle and out this way. And, you know, and that's why we got this exit wound here. And also like his shirt ripples down from the air, but it's either that or his lapel mic exploded or something. You know what I mean? It's either that or something crazy, or there was like a drone that shot him. We don't really know. But
I remember I accidentally saw the video. Oops. But I was like, well, while I'm here, I like was waiting for the background, like the what's it called, the banner behind him. I was waiting for kind of like the hole to go through the banner,
right?
And there wasn't a hole that went through the banner, and I was just like, what?
Yeah, it's a weird phenomenon.
But this is about his wife.
But yeah, I only say all this to kind of give background that there's so much suspicion around his life. It's just weird. I'm not gonna go say like, you know, it could, so back it up a little bit. So there's lots of videos of Erica Clark circulating her kind of attitude or behavior speaking at speaking events, her weird crying and fake crying, and you know, she's like mourning her husband, and there's clips of her putting fake tears in. And
really?
She's walking out on stage.
You sure it's not eye drops from crying so much?
No, because like, why would you put? No, it's the other way around. So, and then, just there's video. I don't know if I'm gonna adopt that yet though. That's pretty like, I don't know if they're fake tears.
He's just dropping.
Wouldn't be surprised. I'm kind of just dropping.
Yeah,
like,
you're
stuff.
just like, this is this.
So
is
there's
that.
a lot of weird stuff. You know what I mean? Like why? I don't know. It's just like, yeah. It's just, there's a lot of weirdness. So much so that like it would be a list like all along the floor.
Yeah, I mean, tinfoil hats.
So there's two options.
Unite.
It's either she's just mourning weird because people mourn differently, and that could totally be fine. People say like her attitude towards like JD Vance and how kind of quickly she's bounced back into like the public spotlight. People are just like, you know, that's normal for people who had a happy marriage. I agree. Thomas Massey, for example, remarried pretty recently after his wife died. I think it's like 18 months since she died, and he's already remarried. And it's statistically people who had like really good long-standing like marriages typically like bounce back that quickly because they were in a happy marriage. So that's not unheard of. It's not unheard of.
Yeah.
It's just more of about the whole like.
You were a theater kid, right?
Yeah.
What do you think, like, from like experience in the theater world? Okay. Like, is she acting?
If I was like a judge on acting, okay. If I was like giving, if I had no idea who she was, and I was like, you know, okay, we're gonna rate this performance. You're doing an audition for me, whatever. Your husband just died. I'm not joking. Like if that's the audition, I'd be like, next. It does come off to me as acting. It's like really just bizarre, and the whole like, I don't know. It's just like I don't want to judge her hard, but it's hard not to when it's like been 2 months and like his behavior hasn't changed.
I've just come to a point where I'm like, okay, I can judge this woman. This is like my point of view. You're a better person than I am. But I was just like, I can judge this woman, sure. I can break it down. I can watch videos constantly, make my own opinion. But I've just decided, kind of for me, this opinion will most likely change. But it's like, okay, her husband passed away, and I think she's trying, as a Christian woman, quotes, that she's trying to make his, like, I need to quickly, like, everyone's like, why is she going on these talk shows? Why is she making all these speeches? Like, why are there freaking fireworks coming out as she's, and it's like, I think in my mind, I'm like, okay, she's trying, that was terrible. I saw that video. I was like, take those off right now. Like, that is, burn them. But I was just like, she's a Christian woman trying to martyr her husband as best she can. Is that the right word? It's like, I'm just like, okay, she's doing all these things maybe because she wants to quickly take advantage of his death. But it's like, okay, it's been 2 months.
Yeah.
It's been 2 months. You were married 3 years? 2 years? 3 years?
It's like been 2 months of the same exact behavior. I think I would have thought it would have been a little bit longer before she like went out and
like
started
just
doing
now
this stuff.
started talking.
Yeah, like if she started doing this now, like I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But like the day after, they're like, Erica Kirk is the new chair.
No,
like,
they were like CEO, chair, this, that. And I was like, okay, they're trying to really quickly get things like take advantage of Charlie Kirk's popularity. Like, people are looking at him because of his death. It was a really big deal. Yeah. It's like, let's take advantage of the fact that people are looking into our stuff and like try to get that publicity. But also like, okay, people want to hear what we're saying. We need to make sure what we're saying is really important. Yeah. So they shared the gospel, but also, what are they doing on the podcast right now?
Well, it's like, the little day after. Like, I mean, a couple of days after, they already have her hosting the Charlie Kirk show. And it's like, all right. It's just like weird. I don't know. It's just the bizarre stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I can get into our next question. Technical difficulties. Oh, this is actually a really good one. So we're kind of bouncing around the theme of Christianity and politics right now. But they like, who's the biggest threat to Christianity and thus the world? And it's like, who is the biggest threat? Is it the Democrats? Is it the terrorists? But it's like, to me, the biggest threat is Satan.
Yeah, so I think it's like, at the end of the day,
it's like broad answer.
Right, it's like no other threat is going to surpass like Satan's presence on the earth and stuff. And so he's going to show up in a lot of different forms, a lot of minuscule forms. And I think the biggest symptom of like him kind of making moves, and honestly the symptom of the biggest threat, is probably the idea of like humanism and like this weird like autonomy that we're getting into. Like, America is currently, we're in the middle of trying out a humanist, non-religious, godless society, and it's been really successful, hasn't it? It's been great, you know. We've got men dressing up as women, going in bathrooms. You know what I mean? Like, it's been fantastic. No, it's humanism is cancerous, and it goes in hand with like this weird globalist agenda too, where it's like, we want. So humanism is like the idea, for like people who don't know. It's like it's that like man's way is like correct. It's all about the self. It's like our perspective is elite and perfect, and we make the rules for ourselves.
Which is against everything.
Well, it's like, it's against everything biblical, but even like secularly, it's like in dismiss of just like basic like knowledge and even like science. It's like, no, our perspective is flawed. The idea that like we can make rules for ourselves, and that like our perception of things is perfect, is in denial of the fact that we are like these flawed human beings. It's like we can look at like all these other. It's just ironic to me that people are like, a humanist or a secularist might argue that like, okay, like if God was real, right, and he created all things, like why are humans flawed? And it's like, okay, that's because of sin.
Back it up.
And they say that, and they literally will say to your face, like, humans are flawed, therefore like God isn't real or whatever. They'll say that to your face, and then 5 minutes later, they'll like push humanist talking points from the position that like we are perfect, which is hilarious to me. It's phenomenal. But it is the biggest threat in my opinion. It's done detrimental things to society, it promotes globalism, communism, socialism, which
What
is
humanism?
humanism. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Basically,
humanism is, again, it's just like this. It's perspective that man makes his own rules, and like we will collectively all follow them together. And then globalism goes hand in hand with that. And it's like we make our own rules and we make our own society. And right now that like there's like a religion almost of just like an open society. But thanks, George Soros. Sorry, I know some of you don't know what like open society is, but that's like a George Soros like idea and like business model, and it's just it's not good. It's gonna detrimentally. You should just Google it. Just Google it. I wouldn't. That's like a whole other video. But
yeah, we don't have time for that.
But that's probably the biggest threat to Christianity
really
and also just humanity thus far. Humanity doesn't realize that just immense freedom and like no boundaries and like our own rules are gonna inevitably create problems, and they have time and time again. It's just people like to forget history. And you will look at religious societies.
We're not supposed to forget history.
Right. And like we'll look at religious societies.
It's just gonna repeat itself.
Right. Like look at religious societies and like see how well they have performed. I mean, you know, like and I'm not saying
any religion. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying any religion. I think Islam is literal cancer upon the earth. You know what I mean? They have only maintained a high practice, high identity culture and society through extremism. Christianity is not really extreme. We do have high identity, but we have low practice. That's a problem I'm hoping we start to fix. I'm hoping we start to level them out. For example, Judaism is kind of the same way. Super high identity, really low practice. So, like, you will literally have,
That's really, like, high identity, low practice.
Yeah. So, like, the reason why Islam seems successful is that it's high practice, high identity. But, again, it's like you're forgetting that it's, like, extremism, and also they think it's okay to marry 8-year-old girls. They think women shouldn't speak, and they believe in rape culture and, you know what I mean, and hibachi-bazi and stuff. Don't Google that. I'd recommend not looking into what hibachi-bazi is, but...
We're gonna cut that out.
No, but... They are a, you know, at least, obviously, though, here's the thing about that, is though they're like a really cancerous religion, and I'm not up for debate about that at all, that's one viewpoint that just gets proven time and time again. You know, you can't really say to me, like, I think you need to be more valuable on your view for Islam. No, I won't, because I've seen enough proof. That might be something that'll stab me in the back by saying, but still. Again, though, like the extreme side of Islam, like does represent only 10% of the entire Islamic population, but those guys that are like, and I guess I would have to fundamentally explain like how Islam works and how there's amendments to what they believe in, and they try to adjust and change rules, which that's a whole rabbit hole, and it's kind of ironic though to me that it's like, oh, like for our belief system, same thing with Judaism, is it's like, oh, that was written a long time ago, so we're not going to believe in that. Whereas, like, the Bible has, like, there's never been amendments, you know what I mean? Like, and, like, people who want to say, like, well, what if Jesus came and amended the... It's like, no, that's not what he did. He came because we were such idiots, and so we had fallen so short of God that God had to be like, fine, I'll come down, and I'll interpret it for you and show you what the way forward. And so... Again, it's like there was no amendment happening there. Nothing was changed in the Old Testament. It's just Jesus was showing us, this is actually how it works, but you guys fall short of it, so I'm going to fulfill it for you. Yeah. And therefore, it's Christ in you and you in me. Yeah. Anyway.
Is there any other question?
I get asked pretty frequently, and I got asked again. I actually know nothing about this, but I was asked about the Edmund Fitzgerald, the big ship that went down, and I have a little bit of information on it, but so I'm going to read some of it off, and then so I can suit the people's needs. But the Edmund Fitzgerald, the SS Edmund Fitzgerald, was a massive Great Lakes freighter launched in 1958. Once the largest ship on North America's inland waters. On November 10th, 1975, it sank during a fierce storm on Lake Superior while carrying iron ore, tragically taking all 29 crew members' lives with it.
God.
The exact cause of the sinking remains completely debated and mostly unknown, with theories ranging from structural failure to massive rogue waves. The disaster was immortalized by Gordon Lightfoot's song "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald," which helped cement its place in the maritime history. I do like that song. It's pretty good. But it's the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
It's a song.
Yeah.
Do you know the words?
No.
It's a shame.
This has been episode 7. I looked at her like she would know. Episode 7. Should I check that? No.
I wanted to say maybe 6, but probably honestly 8.
It's episode 7 for sure. Because I'm thinking about
it's your
what's in my
podcast.
library. I know, but I get the 2 numbers confused.
Right. This is episode 7.
Yep.
You finally got a guest.
Finally got a guest.
Have I been helpful?
You've been a great help. It's been an honor.
It's been a pleasure.
It's
honestly.
been an honor.
I think I've helped as much as I could.
This has been your big exposure. You're gonna be famous now. The Groypers are coming after you.
I welcome them with open arms.
Well, yeah. Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
Thanks for representing the uneducated youth.
And don't forget, don't blow everything that's going on in the world off, because that's something I did for so long. I was like, nah, blow it off, stay ignorant. Ignorance is bliss. But it's like the moment that you do start to educate yourself, you're like, wait a minute, now I know what I want in life. And it honestly like motivates me to be better, and like I don't want to walk around not knowing things anymore. Yeah. So I will continue to watch this podcast, and you should too. Was that good?
That's an endorsement from Madeline Jones.
You gonna pay me now?
Can I clip that?
Yeah. Yeah, you can clip it. I'm getting paid after this either way. So.
Yeah. Madeline Jones, episode 7 of People Watching. I hope you enjoyed. This is our kind of first step into having guests on. Hoping to have people on.
Either make or break the show.
This will either make or break it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Jamie Winship, come on the podcast, dude. Love to have you on. But, yeah. All right. That's all we got. Bye.
Catch you next week.
See ya.